Hey everyone. In today's lesson, we're going to take a look at some basic examples of solving systems of equations using the substitution method. Now, the substitution method, there's a couple of steps here because these are some of the basic examples. Some of them are already done for you. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have at least one variable by itself. So we actually have that here. We have y equals 7. We also have y equals 8x minus 9. So here we actually have both of our variables already isolated by themselves. We have our y by itself. Okay, now when you're solving any system of equations, you need both an x and a y when you're finished. Okay, in this specific one here, we already have one of our variables. We're given y equals 7, so we're halfway there actually, and we need to just figure out what the x is going to be. Okay, the way we do that is exactly what the name of it is, which is substitution. I'm going to be substituting the value that I have, y equals 7, in for my y in the other equation. Okay, this one nice and easy. I already have a number for my y, so I'm going to plug it in. So this 7 is now going to replace the y in the first equation. So it'll be 7 equals 8x minus 9. And then I'm just going to solve this equation for x. Add 9 on both sides, I get 16 is equal to 8x. Divide both sides by 8, and I get x equals 2. Okay, so our coordinate would be 2, 7. And if I was to graph these two equations, that would be the point of intersection. Okay, so in this one, we already had our y, and we just had to plug in to solve for the x. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, so here again, we're going to be looking for an x and a y. Okay, here we have one of our variables isolated. We have y equals 2x. That's going to be our substitution. We're going to be substituting 2x in for y. Here we do not have a value for x or y, so we're going to have to actually solve for both here. Okay, so again, substitution, y equals 2x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this equation up here, but I'm going to substitute in a 2x for my y. So it's going to be 6x plus 7 times. Now, instead of my y, which would go here, okay, I'm going to substitute my value for y, which is 2x equals 20. Okay, so again, this piece here represents the y, but y equals 2x, so I plugged in a 2x in its place. Okay, so we get 6x plus 7 times 2x is 14x equals 20. Combine my like terms, I get 20x equals 20, and then divide by 20 on both sides, and I get x equals 1. Okay, so my x value is 1. And now we need to figure out what the y value is. Now again, in the last question, we already had the y value. In this one, we don't have it. We have y equals 2x. However, now that we have our x value equals 1, we can plug it back in here and solve for y. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put this equation over here. And now we are going to plug in a 1 in for x. Y equals 2 times, and now instead of x, we know that x equals 1 from down here. And we get y equals 2. Okay, you plug it back in, and you're able to get the second value. So we have 1, 2 as our solution. Okay, so again, pretty much what you're doing here is it's a couple of steps. The first thing you want to do is, again, make sure you have a variable isolated if you don't already have it. After that, you're going to plug in for that variable or substitute in for that variable, solve, and then plug it back in to find your other variable. So again, you need to find both an x and a y in order to solve these. Okay, in some of the following videos, we'll go over some more complicated examples of this.